Zoom because we had so many viewers. So Trina, we are here obviously live with the Connection series, and we were just talking with Trina about what it is that the culture they're trying to create in their home and the culture they're creating. Trina is the founder of Primal Life Organics, an amazing organic. I was going to say just skincare company. It's way more than that. It's all things health, and we're going to have her talk a little bit more about that. Her and Josh have 3 children. 11-year-old daughter and 2 9-year-old twin boys. And one of the things that we were talking about with her was, asking her what do they stand for in their family more than anything with their family brand. And it was integrity. And then I asked her, what is the thing they want to be known for? And she's like, that we're willing to take risks. And then we were just into the story about, the type of culture you're creating in your home, which is a culture of curiosity. And by the way, if you're watching this, please go and start a watch party on your page so that we can share this out, because Trina's going to share some really amazing things about family. Start a watch party on your page, which means you'll go live on your page while we're live here on Family Brand. And again, the whole purpose behind the Connection series with Family Brand is to help families be more connected, especially in this time of uncertainty. And we just believe that every family can define their own brand and what it is they stand for. So Trina, before we go on to I want you to finish that story of the airplane. Are these things that your family, like, have you and Josh, have you guys defined these things? Like, Felbers we stand for integrity. We're known for taking risks. Like, is that stuff you guys have ever like documented as like, hey, this is our family's brand? Or is it more, we talk about it in the essence of it?
It's funny that you say that, because I think we did it a while, like probably after we did your, when you came out to the company and did it for the company. I believe we did it then, but we haven't revisited it. So it's just interesting now because it's different and everything's going to change, as the kids get older, as life, moves forward, and you're in the middle of a pandemic, who would have thought?
Right.
So yeah, no, we haven't necessarily revisited it, but we've, and I'm sure it's changed.
Okay. We, now this story, culture of curiosity. You were talking about plane ride home. One of your 5-year-old sons was literally asking this man question after question after question after question, and he was answering all of them. And then I think that's where we lost you. And then you said that Josh was telling him to let up, like ease up on the questions.
Well, no, actually, the guy was just, he was answering every single one of them. I'd lean over and be like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, no. He loved every minute of it. But what happened midway into the flight is the boys had to go to the bathroom. So Josh took him to the bathroom. And I thought, oh no, they're going to switch seats. And when the other one sits down, since they're identical twins, he's going to sit down and ask the exact same questions that the one that just got back and was sitting there asked. And that's literally what happened. They switch seats. The other one sits in that seat and starts, hey, what's your name? What do you do for a living? Exact same questions. This guy was a champ. He was a champ. He answered every question.
That's amazing.
Again. It was awesome. He didn't care, which was really cool to see, because, a lot of families get embarrassed and they think their kids shouldn't be talking either to strangers or annoying people or whatever. And we just let him roll. And I thought, if this guy gets annoyed, then I think he'll just put his headphones in or something. I hope he'll do something like that. But I thought, just let him ask the questions. And as long as this guy is willing to answer them, let him answer them. But he was awesome. Like, I'm totally fine with this. So it was fun.
So what I love about that is one of the things that we teach, we haven't released or launched the Family Brand course. That's something we're building right now, where families are actually going to be able to go through this. It's basically the campfire effect for families, right? And get really clear on their family brand, which we teach is culture, language, and experiences. But one of the things we talk a lot about in the culture piece, Trina, is space. Mm-hmm. Like, can we create and hold space in a home for every individual in the family, children and parents, adults, to be who they are as they are, which is without judgment, which is really hard. Because sometimes it's like, sometimes you want to tell your 5-year-old, like, dude, stop talking, like, stop asking so many, but to grant them that space to be like, well, we're just going to let them, like, talk about, like, how you and Josh, like, why is that important to you? Because obviously it's something that's intentional for you. Like, is that a discussion you guys have had about, we're going to allow our kids to be who they are, and we're going to allow them to, we're going to create space for them to be themselves?
Yeah. And what's kind of having twins, identical twin boys who are basically growing up together, experiencing the same thing. They pretty much can complete the other one's sentence. it's sort of fun to, when they get on my nerves, to be like, hey, just go talk to your brother about that, like kind of offset it so that I'm not like saying, hey, stop talking to me, shut your mouth. I'm basically going, hey, go ask your brother about that. I bet he could like enlighten you, or you guys can figure it out. Or why don't you guys go downstairs and work out some of that energy doing martial arts or something like that. So instead of trying to say, stop talking, just trying to redirect and refocus and, give them an opportunity to go do something with the energy and ultimately if it's too much, then I'm like, hey, I just need 5 minutes of silence.
I need 5 minutes or 5 hours, one of the two.
If you can give me 5 minutes of silence, I will answer questions for another hour. Okay. And then usually they get distracted and that happens, but at least you're not stifling the, I don't want you to ask me. At least it's a different way of giving them the opportunity to find something else to do. And then maybe revisiting or not revisiting where they left off.
Why is curiosity and this idea of like, why is a culture of curiosity and being known for like, we're not afraid to take risks? Why is that important to you guys for your family with your kids?
I want them to be able to grow up and have their own identity. And I think we lose that when we don't know how to say no. We don't know how to keep containers around ourselves. And we don't build the confidence of curiosity and knowing that it's okay to not know everything. And it's okay to ask questions, even if the person's getting annoyed. I think that, the kids all have their own little businesses. And I had Mia on my Facebook Live 2 weeks ago, it'll be 2 weeks ago on Friday. And she's 11 and she does her own Facebook Lives. She does her own Instagram. She does her own emails. She's learning how to do animations and all her own images and stuff like that. But it was fun sitting next to her and asking her questions. And she just answered like it didn't faze her. She was answering the questions like any adult would answer them, not nervous, not embarrassed. But I mean, she does this on her own anyway, but it was really fun to be able to sit next to her and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that you are this being that's so confident that even if you mess up, you don't care. Cause you've been raised to understand that it's okay to mess up and to stop and go, hold on, I need to rephrase that or something like that. You just learn the ins and outs of how to do it live in front of people.
That's awesome. And clearly your kids have had that demonstrated though, that they've had going after things and taking risks and being curious and not afraid to mess up. They've had that modeled by entrepreneurial parents who have had multiple business adventures. Right. And, like I remember your story, having the privilege of working with you, like there was a lot of curiosity. I would have never said it this way, but now that you're saying this, like it was a lot of curiosity that led to you creating Primal Life Organics. And there was a lot of like, man, am I afraid to take risks here? Am I afraid to mess up or am I not? So yeah, tell us about Primal Life Organics. Like what is Primal Life Organics? What do you guys do? How does it benefit families and individuals?
Yeah. So it actually happened by accident, as most things do. You don't always plan for things. And I'm a nurse anesthetist. I had just graduated from anesthesia school. So if anyone's familiar with that, it's a master's degree. So, you do your 4 years of undergraduate nursing, you do some work. I worked actually 10 years in ICU and then went back to school to get my master's degree in anesthesia. And it's not an easy program by any means. Graduated and got married. Josh and I went and got married, got pregnant right away. And then I miscarried. And it was this miscarriage at the age of 40 that made me stop and realize that maybe there's some things that are polluting my body. Because at 40, I felt like I was healthy. We ate healthy. We worked out. We lived a healthy lifestyle. And I thought, you know what? If there's something in my environment that I can tweak, I'm going to. That's when we, started changing our cleaning supplies and our laundry detergent. And then lo and behold, I got pregnant with Mia right away. And I was getting ready for work one morning, grabbed my moisturizer from a company that was organic and natural. And I looked at the ingredients and just literally honed in on the fact that there's toxins or I knew that there were harmful ingredients in there that pass through to the baby that's being developed. And I instantly thought, what the heck? This is unbelievable to me. I never gave anybody permission to put these things in my body as I'm trying to be as healthy as I can. So because I couldn't really find any products out there, I just started making my own skincare products. I started making baby products, face products. I had suffered from acne for ever since my teens. And here I am, 40 years old, pregnant with a face full of acne. And I started making my own skincare out of oils and essential oils, terrified that the oil was going to make my oily skin even worse. And for the first time ever, my skin cleared up, got normalized,
Wow.
and looked great. And everything was actually looking better. And when I reverse engineered everything, I'm like, well, no wonder. The stuff that's actually in skincare is actually making your skin sick and not able to function normally. So then you end up with the congestion. You end up with rosacea and all these dry skin, oily skin, all these confusing things because your skin's confused. And one thing leads to another. Mia was born, and Josh has always been an entrepreneur. Me, I'm totally happy putting people to sleep with anesthesia. And one day I say to him, you know what? Everybody loves my skincare. I should probably make this stuff and sell it. I'm feeding Mia, she's like 3 months old, maybe younger, I don't know. And he says, he does like a 180 and he says, oh, I'll get someone to do your logo. Just figure out what you want to be called. And I'm thinking a little store on Etsy, and he's thinking, so fast forward, the first year I named it a company called Olive's Organic Botanicals. My goal at that point was to put olive oil in everything. That was going to be my staple ingredient and build products around that. And then as time went on and I realized that I'm in an ocean of, it's like a red ocean of all these organic companies. He came home with this paleo concept doing CrossFit. And I Googled paleo skincare one day and totally realized that there's nothing out there that solves the problem for the people that are really healthy and really want super clean skincare. So at this time, I'm pregnant with twins and I'm not ready to relaunch a company that is doing okay, but not really going far because it's just in this big ocean of red stuff. So when the boys were about a year old, I really realized now's the time. It was probably just, it didn't take me long to realize that if I don't do this, someone else is going to do it. So I might as well just jump in. So we rebranded in 2012 to Primal Life Organics, paleo skincare at the time, and literally took off because that's when paleo was really becoming something that people recognized and wanted to do. And I was the original paleo skincare company. Now there's a lot of people that call themselves paleo and they don't hold up to my standards. My standards has always been food grade ingredients that heal the body. And as a nurse, that's always been my concept: safe for moms, safe for pregnancy, safe for families, and healing the internal aspects of your body, because your skin is really a reflection of what's happening inside. And I like to tell people, like, if you're not happy with this way your skin looks, really that's your largest organ. It's really the only organ that you can see. And it's the organ that's communicating what's happening to every other organ inside your body that you can't see. So if it's congested, if it's dehydrated, it's really the warning sign of figure something out, because by the time these problems progress to the point where your skin's talking to you, you got to fix it. Otherwise, it's only going to continue to cause increased inflammation and more internal issues. So when I was able to actually heal my skin, I reversed my acne, reversed my oily skin. I realized I was doing it just by feeding it what it needs.
Yeah.
One of the most messed up things in skincare is actually water. Water in skincare is a toxin, it's a pollutant, and it dehydrates your skin. And it's in almost every product that people use. So that's basically my story in a nutshell. So then Primal Life Organics was born. We got, we grew very rapidly because I kind of went from the red ocean into creating my own blue ocean. And with the products, they're they're top of the line. I call them the top of the pyramid. We're the top of the skincare pyramid.
I love it. And the products are absolutely amazing. And the thing that I was thinking at, Trina, as you're telling that story, you have 3 little kids, right? Probably wasn't the most convenient time, if there is a convenient time to start a business. I know one of the things that a lot of the women that, that I've served in the Campfire Facts and that, have come through Family Brand now is the guilt, right? Like, man, I want to do something like, I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I love that, but there's something I want to do, like whether that's a nonprofit or that's a business or that's just something for myself. But there's this guilt around like, oh, but I have guilt when I'm not at home being a mom. And I'm, like, what was that like for you to go after something that was really important to you that you knew could make a big difference for other families, but also recognizing, but I also have my family?
Well, it was interesting the way that I did this, because I worked full time as a nurse anesthetist, basically during the day. And then for a while there, I worked night shift. I just flipped to the night shift. And if I slept all night, then I had all day. But if I didn't, then I'd come home, sleep. And I did the business in the evening after the kids went to bed. And that's how it started, in the kitchen. So I didn't really feel like I was taking time away from family stuff. And then as soon as it got big enough that I needed help, I had a nanny, and I approached her and I just said, hey, when the kids are napping, like they nap 2 hours a day, I'll pay you on top of, like, you'll get paid as a nanny, but I'll pay you a percentage of my sales. Like, I think it was 5%. So that means that if I have no sales, there's nothing to do. You're not getting paid. But if I have sales and there's orders that need to be filled and things that need to be made during those 2 hours that they're sleeping, you can make those things and you're going to get paid for it. So she jumped right on that. So she was my first actual employee. So I was leveraging her while she was actually in my house anyway. She needed to be there, but yet putting her to work to make the stuff that I needed made or shipping while I was working as a nurse anesthetist. So being creative, you have to be creative. You have to keep a container, of where you want to be, but you're going to have to stretch the boundaries a little bit and know that everything's not possible. You're not going to be able to have all your free time and create a business. So you have to figure out what that looks like and what that balance is for you. But probably the most important thing is to keep one thing for yourself. So for me, that one thing was either going for a run, I love to run, or doing yoga. And I tried to keep that stable in my life so that I could deal with the stress of 3 young kids, a husband, and a new business, and my work job, my real work job at the time. So just keeping your hands in it, but yet giving yourself that you've got to keep that one thing for yourself, whether it's reading a book, going for a walk, whatever that is for you.
And one of the things that I think is so amazing about the fact that not only have you guys built these businesses and been successful, but your children have, that each of them have their own little business. And that, you guys have really like demonstrated, like you said, like we're not afraid to go after things. We're not afraid to take risks. Yesterday we had Scott Donnell on. He is the founder of a company called Apex Leadership, and they're one of the largest fitness fundraising companies for middle-aged children all across the world. So he's all about kids and entrepreneurship. And he said he believes that one of the best things to do for kids' confidence is have them create something and have them like start a business, whether that's that they're going to be entrepreneurs. What have you seen around your kids' confidence and around maybe the connection your family with this entrepreneurial focus with you and Josh, but also your kids, like, and have you seen it do anything with their confidence?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, just like bringing Mia side by side, sitting right next to me, doing a Facebook Live in front of 60, 70, 80 people, how many ever, and it's seen by people after that too. Being able to be, talk intelligently, answer questions that came up randomly that she didn't have planned and things like that. So it really does, we start with, they do martial arts. So they're all black belts. I think that was a big key component in building their confidence, knowing that it's the respect that they learn for older adults, learning to communicate with people, but also learning that, you know, I can defend myself if I have to.
Yeah.
So I think that was key in keeping them. They're still in martial arts. They still do it. They compete and that kind of thing. But also starting with little things like they were doing a coding class. They were learning how to do code, HTML coding, make their own little apps. And they listened to Russell, you know, from ClickFunnels. They listened to that kind of stuff. They listened to Tony, you know, with his talks. They listened to Brendan Bouchard, but not, you know, we didn't stifle and go, oh, they'll never understand Brendan and what he's talking about. But they do, they get it.
Right.
So they listen to books like that. They've listened to books on, like, recorded books when they're driving on topics about money and about entrepreneurship and things like that, and never stifling them and going, oh, you guys won't understand this. They get it better than I do. Seriously. Right. Like, they remember everything. And I'm like, where was that from? So I think just, you know, putting it out there for them. And if you're interested, what most adults don't realize is kids want to do what you do. So if you let them join you and listening to the book, they're going to listen to it. They'll probably listen to it with you more than they will on their own, especially at first. And they'll probably remember more than you. Yeah. But not thinking that, oh gosh, they're not going to understand this, or they won't even be interested.
One of the things I love about that you said a number of times in the interview today is that not stifling our kids, like, and not having this, this expectation of like, oh, well, you wouldn't understand like how to have a conversation with an adult, so let's not talk to adults, or you wouldn't like be interested in this book, so let's not have you listen to it. It's like, no, like give them an opportunity, like create space for them, and you'll be amazed at like what they do if they feel like they have space to like be their authentic selves and given an opportunity to listen to those kinds of books, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I know we are short on time here with you, with what you have, you know, and thank you for coming on. I know that you've got a lot with your family and an amazing business. If there was one piece of advice you could give families that would help them be more connected right now, like one thing that you guys do maybe that just has you stay really connected as a family, or just one piece of advice you have that could help families be connected, what would it be?
I think really it's honestly just going for a walk. You got to keep it simple, keep it real. But when you're going for a walk, if you ever notice, most people are not, unless you're by yourself, but when you're with your family, you're not on your phone, you're not texting, you know, you're not taking phone calls. You can do that. And you just get so distracted in the house, even when you're driving, even when you're out to eat, you're just distracted. But when you go for a walk with each other, it's pretty much you're walking and talking. And just something super simple like that. And the kids recognize it as, oh, they want to be with me. Like you don't even have to say it. They just know, oh, you want to be with me. And it's just time. That. So, yeah.
Yeah. I love the idea of like when children feel like, you know, the quote, children spell love, T-I-M-E, like they spell love with time. Like when they feel like you want to be with them and a walk, like you're able to be present. Well, Trina, thank you for coming on today. So I would invite you guys, you know, if you're a family or an individual and you want to like do the best to take care of the health of your family, go check out Primal Life Organics. It's an amazing company with an amazing mission. And for those of you, you know, please follow the Connection series. You can go to our family brand Facebook page and like the page. You can also go and search family brand in Facebook, and you can search Family Brand Community, and you can request to join our free Facebook group. And when you do that, we have an amazing course that we'd love to give you as a gift. And look, like we stand for families. Like we believe that the backbone of this country and, you know, our economy is family. And the stronger the family, the stronger the individuals, the stronger businesses are. And so, Trina, thanks for coming on. And you have an amazing family, and so grateful to know you and Josh.
Oh, thanks, Chris. And likewise, we wouldn't really be where we are without your intervention and clarity on a lot of the things that happened here. So I appreciate everything you do, and I honor you and your family for all the struggles you have been through and what you've been able to create out of it.
Okay. Thanks, Trina.